Hey,
Hi, Scubs.
are you ready for your apology?
My apology? Yeah, I got to apologize.
Oh.
On the internet.
Mm.
Just keep this. Thanks for coming in, Seth.
Yeah, no problem.
Is this for your vlog? I'm not sorry.
Why not sorry?
Well, I'm not sorry.
Why are you not sorry?
Well, here's the thing. Oh. It's about the Onision thing.
Mm-hmm.
Rape happens, as my old pop used to say. And, not everybody who doesn't care is a rapist. No, that's not what I want to say. What I want to say is, my great-great-grandfather, Robert the Rapist, once said, just because somebody looks like, talks like, and acts like they're not having a good time, doesn't mean they're not having a good time. Granted, I think he meant it in a different context. But I think it applies to this whole thing. I think everybody's having a blast. I think the people that hate Onision are having a blast. I think Onision's having a blast. I think Sarah's having a blast. This is kind of the best thing that's ever happened to Sara. In a way, when you look at it, she's made lifelong friends. You know? She gets to be seen as brave all the time. I'd kill for that. Just to get fucked by Onision a couple of times. You know, groomed for a few years, form-fitting years, manipulated, abused, and then everybody thinks you're Alexander the Great or Napoleon. Yes, please, give it to me. Here's my asshole, it's right here, naked. Speaking of, my robe.
You want to get your robe?
Please. There's guidelines. Unless you're on Pornhub, which I can't imagine Pornhub cares about my apology, and I can't imagine why anybody else would care about my apology either. I don't need to apologize. This is the sad facts of the matter. I think most anti-O people secretly wish they were Sara. I know I do. I'm anti-O. I wish I was Sara. You know why? Not only is she pretty, but she's called brave unanimously. Nobody questions her bravery. You know who gets their bravery questioned?
Who, baby?
Me. I get a question.
Why do you get a question?
Because I'll tell you that when I come back from peeing. Seth, we gotta pee.
Yep.
I guess what I'm saying is, quiet, Oscar. Pop is talking. This is a very bad apology so far. I'm sorry about that. But it's gonna get better. Actually, they can't hear this, so
That's good.
go ahead and go into the bedroom with Stevie.
You want to go in the bedroom?
Yeah.
Hi, Stevie.
How you doing? You taking a leak?
Mm-hmm.
Ah. But that's nice to film. Are you checking out our nice quarters?
Mm-hmm. It's a very nice room.
Thank you. You did some cleaning today?
Yeah?
Very nice.
In truth, I like this whole thing because, you know, it's terrible. It's like a terrible thing all the way around. There's no winning. There's no good that can come from it. There's no bad. I'm stuffed here in the nostrils. It's terrible. Where are those
Do you use
things?
little droplets? I think there's some up there.
That's what I'm saying. I guess what I'm saying is, this one's broke. Hold on. What was I saying, Seth?
It
Seth?
was about the apology.
Oh, yeah. So the apology is not going to happen. So everybody can fuck themselves sideways. But, that being said, there's no reason we can't all be friends. You know, just because everything you stand for I don't care about. And think you're stupid for caring about. Pumpkin girl,
Yes, baby.
what do you need?
Could you make us dinner tonight, please?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Cooking show. Come on down. All right. Anyway, where was I? Never mind. As I was saying, yeah, just because I think you're awful doesn't mean that we can't be friends now. I think we're all friends now, and it's fine. Sure, we hate each other with every fiber of our being. Sure, you think I'm sick. I think you're sick. I think you're ridiculous. And the best part about this is I don't care about Onision at all. I went to dinner with him a few times. I think his art is bullshit. I'll never watch it in my life, not even the shit I'm in. I think you're pathetic for ever having watched it. I think it's ridiculous. I've never watched it because I'm not now, nor have I ever been, a 10-year-old wrist-cutting girl. That's why. And I think that that's what he draws. Not because he's a groomer, but because he's a fucking idiot. That's what he draws. He draws that sensibility. Anybody who's ever appealed to that demographic is a fucking retard. And anybody who's ever felt like Onision was an answer to anything, or ever been taken in by him for even a second, of course is going to get raped. That's what happens, right? When you step in a trap of morons. It's not like he's scheming to do this. He's like, wait, on some level, hold on. Let me think about this. I don't think he's scheming to be a rapist. That's not what he aspires to be. I think he just gets off doing things wrong. I think he gets off on treating girls as boys and boys as girls. I think he likes the opposite. I think he turned his wife into a boy. And that's weird that the only infighting I see amongst the anti-O crowd is over that, whether or not she's trans or not. Of course she's not, she's a nice guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that she's a girl. Fuck's sake. That's why I never met her. He won't introduce me because he thinks I'm the devil. Don't you understand? You think he's the devil. He knows better. He knows I'm far worse. I think everything you stand for, I think everything, don't get me wrong. I like the trans thing. It's fun. It's using the imagination, treating imagination as reality. All that's fun. I think it's great. It makes you a biological dead end. It's impossible for you to procreate because, it creates a non-functioning facsimile of the desired organing, and you can never clog up the world with your offspring, which is fantastic. That's why I'm for all these things. I'll forever be pro-choice. Because if you're the kind of person who's thinking about killing the thing floating inside of you, of course it needs to die. That's perfect. I think you should be able to kill a kid till they're 18. Come to think of it. It's yours. Where was I? Oh yes, the apology. This is what I want. This is what I want out of this whole thing. I want olive oil. That's what I want. Olive oil. Perfect. I want Sara to feel good from this whole thing. Not this thing. This is going to make her feel terrible. But I want this to, not this. I mean this thing. I want her to know that she has a lot to be grateful for. Specifically the Onision thing. Sometimes the worst things are the best things. Good comes from bad all the time. Like, sure, slavery is terrible. But without the slavery, the NBA would be rubbish to watch. You got to think about it. You see? This is thinking. That's what it's all about. And, where was it? Yes. Sara, ideally, is going to be a very happy girl soon. And she's going to be happy in spite of you. I mean, the people that are saying that she's brave and stuff, not because of you. Because what's going to happen is she's going to blossom. She's going to become even more wonderful, articulate, stuff like that. And she's not going to identify herself with what happened, with the trauma. She's going to identify herself with something worthwhile. Maybe she'll be a great businesswoman, entrepreneur, great, philanthropist, something like that. Now, the last thing that's going to happen is her getting better because of you. That will never happen. Doesn't matter what you say. Onision, I see not myself, and by myself I mean not a predator, because I'm not a predator. I mean I see somebody who's being attacked because of his tastes. His tastes. His taste in rape? Not exactly, even though that is a taste. His taste in his abuse? Not exactly. I'm talking about the little strange things that make up the individual, the little quirks, the little strange hitches of individuality that the collective mass will never get. Like, I'm sure you do something weird that everybody else would frown upon. Like, I've seen you pick your ass before. You said.
No, you haven't.
You see, that's a matter of taste. It shouldn't be illegal. And sure, if it came out in public court, we would probably say, chop his hands off, he's fucking gross. That's what I would say. But it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. I'm also saying that, there's not enough water in here. That's what I'm saying. There needs to be more water. I got sausages for the occasion. I'm saying, what is it? Suppose I need pants. Come on. What am I saying? Why did you come in my room? This is terrible. Bumpkin, hope you're not naked.
Yes, baby.
Hi, Guts.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Okay. Putting on my pants. Little kitties.
Just doing some soap notes for work. Oh, little Lister. What are you making tonight?
Sausage and pepper hoagies.
Sounds delish.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be very good. Very, very good.
It's one of my favorite dishes you make.
Oh, thank you. Alright. What was I? I was saying something about a girl.
Oh,
I don't remember what it was.
was it nice?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was lovely. I think I was saying that, the victim thing, it just doesn't help anybody. The thing. Like, calling her brave doesn't help her, gives a nice little ego boost. But really what would help her is violent reenactment.
Oh,
Wherein
in what way?
Wherein she conquers her tormentor. So somebody would play the part of the rapist, and then she would stab him in the throat.
Oh, yeah.
It would be in the name of art. Thanks to
And
repeated
mental health.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Uh,
I can see where that could lead.
and mental health is what I meant, yeah. But, yeah. I think... I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, do you want to help prep by cutting vegetables?
Would you like me to prep?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me
Yeah.
2 seconds and I'll be down.
Okay, cool. Because I'm talking at the same time, and talking and
Okay.
cooking is just impossible. We got to make sure we have bell peppers. Do you know if we have bell peppers, Seth?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Now, I guess what I'm saying is that got stuff is everything's gonna be okay. We're all gonna be fine here. Everybody's gonna be friends again. Onision will never be brought to justice. It's not gonna happen. There is no material evidence. That's why Hanson's crack team just sat on that fucking laptop. I didn't do anything with it. And most of you will just call it a gross miscarriage of justice. But in actuality, what this is just a matter of taste. We can't prove that Onision is a groomer because we can't read his fucking mind. Does that mean we shouldn't kill him? No, of course you should. If you want to, go over his house and murder him. That'll be fine. I think it'll be great. You'll have my support if you want to call me, write to me, say, hey, I'm going to go kill Onision. You know, fine. I'll join you, I'll drive you down, I'll give you his address, whatever. Let's just do something real about it, for fuck's sake. All this faggot shit. Crying, all this making my fat friend cry and apologize and blubber every 2 seconds. He's very weak. Why are you doing this to him? I heard fucking Sarah practically flipping her fucking bean when she was talking. She was like, and did you feel overpowered by Onision? She still wants to fuck him on some level, I'm sure of it. Girls love rapists, I'm telling you. You know, my great-grandfather, Robert the Rapist, once said, she wants it. He was talking about baked ziti, but I think the context fits here as well. See this? Sausage and pepper hoagies. What we're going to do is we're going to boil the water. When that gets nice and full, we're going to put all of these sausages in there and we're going to boil them for 17 minutes. From there, we're going to brown them up here with olive oil and a little garlic. And maybe some other seasoning too. And then we're going to put onions in there and bell peppers. Now my little precious baby girl is going to cut up the bell peppers if we fucking have them. We might not have them. Fuck. Anyway, Billy has to know that, you know, Greg is one of the most vile people as far as PR is concerned, imaginable. But still, most women would still rather fuck him than Billy. And it's not because of looks. Would you rather fuck, do you know who Onision is?
Yes.
Okay, would you rather fuck him or Billy?
Oh, close call.
Okay. See? That's my point. And it's not because she's sick. It means, you know, Billy's just that much of a wet rag. He's feckless. He's got a good heart. He's got great comedic timing. He's got great, you know, potential. He wants to do something that pleases, but he's got to realize you can't do stuff that pleases people a lot of times. A lot of times it's not going to please anybody, you know? And that's fine. At least it comes from an honest place. I guess that's all I'm saying. Hi, Cammy. Would you rather bang Billy or Onision? No? Neither? Bet you a lot of girls would say that too. Me, if you put a gun in my head and said, listen, fuck your best friend Billy again, or Onision for the first time ever, which one? I'd say Onision, because I've already fucked Billy. But I think the point is made. Hold on. What was the point? I don't remember. Oh, pardon me. I was just... Oh, no. Did he eat one?
Yeah.
Cubs. Cubs. You can't eat that. No, you cannot. It's toxic. Cubby.
I don't know if they're really toxic to dogs, but probably just doesn't taste that good.
His breath is so bad. His breath is so bad now. Smells like onions. Anyway, where was it?
We're just going to start over with a new onion.
Oh, we have no bell peppers, Cubs.
What?
No bell peppers. There's none. They're thinking of you the same old way. Ah, yes, there it is. Perfect. Perfect. You know, I pull for the underdogs, and in this case, Onision, as despicable as he is, as much as I dislike him, and him turning his wife into a husband, and other weird, gross things like edging to hentai pornography for hours, all the things that don't repulse you but repulse me. Despite all that stuff, I'm going to stay in his corner because I'm all for the underdogs. Like the Yankees, for example. Underdogs. You think they're not because of all the money and all the tradition and everything like that. But they are, because the people hate them. Hate the Yankees. That's an underdog. The only true underdog is the one that everybody hates. You know? So, I guess I'm just saying Onision and Dahmer. Those are my guys. Hitler. Gotta see Hitler played straight. I'm just kidding. Hitler sucks. He bungled it. He was this close. Where were we? The onion's not gonna work? I chopped it myself, goddammit. Is this because of Duke? Duke. You ruined my meal. It's okay, I'm not angry. If there's one lesson, actually, of this whole theme, it's that I forgive. I forgive even puppies that ruin my meal. I love you. Everybody needs a hug sometimes, especially predators, because nobody likes a predator. The ultimate underdog predator. Especially considering that they were born that way. Probably. Who knows? I certainly don't. It's a guess. One day we'll find a gene that explains everything. And then everyone will be blameless, which would be a perfect world. You know what I like most about this? I don't like Onision. I don't like the anti-Onision crowd. I don't have really a dog in this fight at all. Not even remotely. My Streamlabs aren't tied to a PayPal account. They just sit there. I don't care about YouTube. You follow me around with a camera. They call that a YouTube channel. You comment on it. I mean, that's fine. Life goes on. Here I sit in my kitchen, making sausage and pepper hoagies. And I can tell you that of all the children I've ever met, not one of them, ever, has been molested. That's an unblemished record. I mean, it's perfectly great. Now, as far as adult women and abuse, who's to say these days? Stevie, have I ever abused you?
No.
She's a happy girl. Huh?
I'm a happy girl.
Good.
Yeah.
Smart girl. Water's boiling. Is there a lid to this? Mm-hmm. Oh, down here. Wonderful. Perfect. That's not a good fit, but it'll have to do. Actually, no, this one goes to this one, doesn't it? Shit. That's the height of incompetence. Ah, yes. Shit. Wonderful. Anyway, come on. I'll be right back. 17 minutes. What time is it?
8:55.
8:55. Perfect. Let's go. Anyway, Seth, where were we? Remind me.
You mentioned Hitler.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Hitler. In many ways, Hitler's a lot like Onision. They both have wives that they killed. Now, Hitler, of course, shot her in the head. Onision just turned her into a boy and gave her a different name and an identity. But it's still murder. How did this tie into my point? Anyway, I think we can all agree that we're all right. You know? I'm not sure of much. Anything, really. But I can say honestly that this Onision brigade is not going to solve any problem about sexual abuse, grooming. It's not going to solve any issue whatsoever. It's not an emblem or a symbol for something greater than itself. It's not a movement with legs that's going to help us like ring up the next one. All this is about him, and I think he's profiting off this in a weird way. It's not just that old axiom that any publicity is good publicity, but I think he's making money off this just by sheer notoriety. And I think that's a crying shame because it's a monster you created, with your stupidity. But that's nothing new. The masses, no matter how well-meaning they are, no matter how giving and positive and what have yous, they'll always have the outward manifestation of an unwieldy, dumb animal. Always. Even if they're made up of principally good people. That's just how the mass works. It can never be anything but. That's why I rail against it. You say he's a predator, I say, yeah, sure. So, what are we going to do with it? You want to go kill him? Talk to me. Huh? You want to go do something real? Talk to me. Huh? Like pee on his door. I'm talking about something that takes a stand. You're a faggot shit. Chris Hansen will do it. Chris Hansen. He's how many checks? This guy's integrity is worth nothing. Nothing. How many checks has that guy bounced? Huh? How many, Seth?
I'm not sure. How many? Hey, Joe, do you want to read the chat?
Yeah, go ahead, read it.
No, they're not saying anything.
We'll read whatever's there.
They want you to talk about your black stepdad.
My black stepfather, I beat him up twice. Once I dislocated his knee, the other time I put his neck in a brace. He was a really nice guy. He was never my stepdad, though. I said that because it sounded funnier. He was just dating my mother. I liked him very much. I think that's why I beat him. Sometimes we beat those we love. Anyway, where was I? What's another one? Any question will do.
Any question?
I'll field them all. Parched. Mouth is dry.
They want you to respond to things Billy said on his stream yesterday.
Which one? When he blubbered and cried?
Most likely.
I'm not sure what Billy said on the stream because I don't watch streams that I'm not in. But I'm sure whatever he said made a lot of sense at the time, and I'm happy for him. I don't know. He's a good guy. He's just very soft. I think that's why everybody targeted him, even though it was clearly my fault. I even planned the whole meetup with Greg himself. I said, we'll make this big, fat, dumb idiot look like a moron if we meet up. We started talking about it when we had dinner the week prior. I remember it was the start of a master plan. Very rarely does a master plan go off without a hitch. I'll tell you, this one nearly did. It was amazing. We were talking, and he was talking. All he does is talk. He's a flagrant narcissist in the worst sense of the word. Not a Billy narcissist, but a real one. Malignant. Doesn't hear you. He sees an object, and then he just reflects off it. And I remember we were talking, and I said, I think we could get Billy back into the fold. We just have to make sure that there's views or a promise from donations. And he doesn't have to know that, you're in cahoots. He'll do it. He'll do it in spite of his best interests. And he said, yeah, we'll see. And then a couple of days went by. I found out about the court date. I said, hey, Billy, you want to go down to the courthouse? He said, yeah, sure. And the next day, I got up early in the morning on my way to work at Denny's at the morning shift, and I plunged a knife into his front right tire. And I knew that the dumb fuck wouldn't notice until well after he was in the car and driving, and I knew it would sabotage it. I needed to do this because, and this is very important, a lot of people are going to think this is sick, I needed to do this because I needed to go to the midwife with precious baby Steve, and because she's having a precious baby. And it worked. It went off without a hitch. He waited for us because he doesn't know how to change a tire, and he would never even, want to figure it out. And we went down to Onision's house. I was texting him some updates. He said, "Okay, Predator. It was a joke. It was a joke. It's jokes. There's honor among thieves sometimes." So then we got down there, and Billy, he has no idea that he's even going to come out. And I think it's perfect because I'm setting this whole thing up like, we're going to fucking take his kids out of there. I'm going to slit his throat. It's going to be perfect. And then it happens. He comes out. I just give him a big old hug. And then Billy's just hung out there to dry because he doesn't know if this is going to be a hug thing or if this is going to be a friendly thing. Like, he would have fed off my vibes. That's how Billy is. So if I would have just been like, fuck you, Greg would have known that it was safe because, we worked it together. And Billy's dumbass, he would have, came in hot. Big old fucking Humpty Dumpty fuck. But how it played out was I hugged him. Billy didn't really know what to do after that. He was like, I did not think there was going to be a hugging thing here. It was awkward enough for Billy to see him because Billy had cut ties with him for months because Sarah came forward and said that the one piece of evidence that Billy had for remaining his friend at the time wasn't kept in good faith, that Greg had done something or other. I don't really know. I don't pay attention. But I do know that I feel really bad for the victims. And everybody else for that matter. Because I think everybody's a victim deep down. I know. Stevie, have you ever been molested?
No.
Shit. Seth, how about you?
No, I haven't.
Shit. Well, I know I have, and I feel really bad for myself. Terrible for myself. In fact, all day I just think about how much of a survivor I am. That's really all I do. When I'm walking down the street, I tell people I was abused sexually. I don't get the kind of reactions you would hope for. Nobody says, "Hey, you're brave." They just call me creepy and run away. Sick. I'm jealous of Sarah. Seth, I have an idea.
Yep.
I'm gonna pose as a younger boy, and Greg's gonna fuck me, and then I'll be the victim.
There you go.
People will say, "Hey, look, there's Joe. Isn't he brave?"
There's Alexis, that always parks.
It's not that brave. I remember I was 3, molested. It's true what they say. You can repress memories. I don't really remember how it happened. I do have vague images of that, but when you're remembering something, you remember a memory, really. So I have just vague recollections. My mother recanted that when I was asleep, in the kid's basement that did it, I kicked her off when she tried to wake me up, thinking it was him, I suppose. And that night she was giving me my bath. I said, "Mom, are you mad at me?" And she said, "Why?" And I said, "Because the boy's name touched my coolie, which is what we called a bottom, or an ass." And she said, "Joseph, you're a good boy. Thank you for telling me that." And then there was a whole lot of things about, molestation and things like that. And the best part was I never felt like a victim. I certainly never felt brave, and I never felt like it defined me. In fact, soon after it left me. But I think it was very important that I did tell somebody. Note that there was no Twitter at this time, so I couldn't have the whole world feeling bad for me. That kid did eventually shoot someone in the face at the age of 15. He was tried as an adult. And I think that's a lesson of the kind of person who targets children. He was 13 himself. He was still a boy. Child-on-child molestation is far more common than adult-on-child molestation. I think that's what we're looking at with the case of Onision. Not a Michael Jackson type child, but somebody who's trapped in a 15-year-old angst forevermore. Kind of like that Stevie Wolf character. Stevie, did you know there's a Stevie out there?
I heard.
Yeah.
Stevie Wolf.
A wolf, another animal.
Weird.
Fucking...
Lame.
I say every time I hear that name Stevie now, I just want to punch. Not you. I'm talking about another Stevie. I want to punch him right in the mouth. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I hear it.
You know? Anyway, how's this apology go? Have I apologized yet?
Yeah,
Cool.
kinda.
Read me a question.
Alright, where did Onision touch you?
Nowhere yet.
Nowhere?
I grabbed his dick though. Live on Drunken Peasants. New Year's episode. I don't know what it was. 437 something? No. It was earlier than that. It was New Year's 2019. So it was New Year's Eve 2018. And I just grabbed his cock like that. And I told everybody it was a big old healthy hog because I didn't want everybody to know the truth. And that's why I'm going to continue to say he's got a big old healthy hog. Sometimes the truth just hurts people's feelings, you know?
I hear you.
Now, it could be adrenaline was pumping. Have you ever grabbed a dong when adrenaline's pumping? Cammy, where are you going? Your brother's talking to you. Cammy? Yeah. Anyway. Have you ever grabbed a dong when adrenaline's pumping?
No, I mean I grabbed some dongs, but a long time ago.
Are you a predator?
I don't think so.
Good.
I'm a girl. They don't really count, do they?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not in my estimation.
Yeah.
Not in general. Where was I? Oh, you have another question?
Would you clap Kai's cheeks?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Make her feel like a lady again. I think that's what she needs. She's very unhappy. I see it in her eyes. I think it's because she's pretending to be a boy. Let me tell you something. If you're a girl and you feel different, it's not because you're actually a boy. It's because you're different. Because everybody's different. Now, that doesn't mean you can't strap a dick on yourself or whatever they do nowadays and call yourself a boy and get respected as a boy. If that gets your jollies off, you know, more power to you. I think it's a great hobby. It's one of the best hobbies there is, being trans. I wish I had a hobby so engrossing, so all-consuming. People should say I'm a freak, because my hobby's freaking. And no matter how hard I fight City Hall, they will not make it okay in public. But what I'm saying is, Kai is a very gentle young woman, and she just needs that broad effort. Would you let me fuck Kai?
I guess it was for the camera.
She's technically a boy.
Oh yeah, that's true. So it'd be kind of homosexual. But yeah.
Yeah, and that's her rule. She says, you can fuck all the boys you want. I'm like, perfect, thanks. It's like getting a lifetime supply of shit. It's terrible. What a terrible get-out-of-jail-free card. Have you ever fucked a boy? I have. It's gross. Disgusting. By boy, I mean man. Or like Billy.
They want to know if you're sorry to Billy.
What do you mean?
It says, ask Joe if he was sorry to Billy.
Sorry to Billy? In what way? Sorry that he's weak? That he cries a lot? Huh? That he actually took your words to heart? That he cares about anything you say? No, not sorry about any of that. But, what am I sorry about? Nothing at all. Thought I was going to have a poignant moment. Nothing came out. There's nothing there. I dig deep. There's nothing there. Nothing at all. Just a void. That's a sick thing. I think there needs to be more awareness for psychopaths. Even in our enlightened society, there remains a stigma attached to being an insensitive asshole. And I don't like that. Ask me another one.
Are you sorry to Sarah?
No. Sorry for Sarah? Yeah, I think, sorry for anybody who was molested or feels like they were molested. You know, sure. Because that can be something that's traumatic when you don't know how to deal with it. Yeah. But I think anything can be dropped out of your life like that. If you think that it's going to take years and years of healing and that the only way to get out of the woods is to come back the exact route you came in, then you're going to find out you're right. But that's the amazing thing about the psyche. Sometimes you can just heal. Not out of denial, but out of putting everything into perspective. You know, if we could see Onision as big a victim as Sara is, I think we would come some way to growing. But we're not going to do that. We can't. Because of some artificial constraints. I think Onision's really gross in a lot of ways. Really gross. Not just the fucking awful videos he makes repeatedly. Terrible videos. The worst videos I've ever seen. Awful videos. I've never watched one in its entirety because of the hammy acting and terrible writing. And where was I?
You were talking about Sara.
Oh yeah, Sara. Anyway, she's going to be great. She's going to be great. She's going to do a lot of great things. I think she's very articulate. I think that's a good thing. I think that she's milking this for everything it's worth, as she should. I think it's very sweet, and I think when you're that age, maybe you feel like attention helps you. Maybe other people will gladly help you trick yourself into thinking that's true by calling you brave and saying that you're doing a great thing for the whole world, when really you're not. You're not. The thing is, you need to ask people like me to kill an Onision and then pay a very good bounty for it, if you really want that. Not because it's right. I don't think killing anybody, especially Onision, who has no idea what he's doing. He's just a poor boy, and I would hate to hear his screams while I chopped his head off. But, you know, I'll do it for the right price. Mainly because nobody else will. I think that's why. I don't have any bloodthirst, personally. I'm not like Steve, who fucking Thanos over here is like, I want the world to be rid of people like that. Okay, Demiurge, fucking God over here. What the fuck is wrong with that fucking piece of shit? Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something honestly about that Stevie Wolf guy. I don't like him. I don't like his face. I don't like his music. I don't like his mustache. I don't like his handsome, good looks. I don't like his good features and his velvety voice. I don't like any of that. And if I was in the same room with him, I'd look at him deep in the eyes and I would start kissing him. Right on the fucking mouth. And he'd be so grossed out he'd vomit in my mouth, which would make me vomit in his mouth. And then we'd look at each other deep in the eyes and we'd keep vomiting in each other's mouths. And then the vomit would form into a small baby in his uterus. And then it would come out looking exactly like Onision. It would have Onision's face. And there'd be writings all over the little baby's corpse or living body. And I would say things that Twitter people have said and the chat has said for years about how terrible Onision is. And then we would get together and we would plunge a knife into the heart of the little baby. And then I would feel like God, because I would have given my only begotten son. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry for Stevie Wolf. I mean, that's got to feel terrible. You feel like, you got to feel like God. That's a huge responsibility, being God. I know this for sure. Being a young God in his prime and all. Now, what's another question?
They want to know if you ever found Zoltan.
Zoltan, we found his car, and I said, I can crush the windows, Billy, if you'd like. He said, don't do that. He'll know it's me. I said, how could he possibly know there's no cameras? He said, seriously, don't do that. And you guys think I don't listen, but I didn't do it for Billy. We did go to his house, though. His neighbor answered the door. That's available on a stream. His neighbor kicked us out, but he'll never find us because I cleverly gave an alias. I said my name was Seth and your name was Joe. He'll never find us. He seemed like a nice guy. I recommend seeking that out just for that moment. I don't remember which one it is. Oh, it's the snow day.
It's the ice cream one.
Ice cream snow day. Ice cream social day. Yeah. So, anything else?
Let's see. Tiffany wants you to call her a cunt.
Tiffany? Let me think about this. I want you to think about this by telling you a joke. What did the masochist say to the sadist? Say what?
What?
Hit me. What did the sadist say back?
What?
No. Tiffany seems like a sweet girl.
Would you clap Zoltan's cheeks?
Yeah, probably. Somebody wise once said that rape is about power. I think rape is mostly about sex myself. Frigid, gross, violent sex. But I would turn it into being something about power if it meant raping Zoltan. There's a time and a place for everything, except child molestation. Everything else there's a time and place for, which means Zoltan rape as well, and murder, and death, and war, and peace, and predators. There's a time and place for everything. I think without Onision's actions towards Sara, she would never grow to be as strong of a woman as she's going to be. Partially what you endure makes you stronger. Nietzsche said that. He also went crazy, but I think he was onto something there. Any other questions?
So tell us where you're hiding Billy.
Young Bill Fridge?
Yeah.
He's alive. You know his car got broken into last night?
Yeah.
Poor little schmuck. I feel bad for him. You feel bad for him, Kim? I feel bad for him. That's what I'm sorry about. I'm sorry his car got broken into. There's something more immediate about that. The internet has opened up whole new vistas and made us start caring about things that are completely outside of our sphere of influence, which can't be good, especially if you're the one who likes to see results. Now, some of us, it's just entertainment. I think most of us. So that's fine. It doesn't need to have a silver lining or an end or some form of completion or closure. It's just a bunch of symbols, myths, nothing more, nothing less. Anything else?
They want to know how close you are with Onision.
Me and Onision are thick as thieves, we are. Hey, I'll show you something. Onision got me these.
Really?
Yeah. He bought me these for my birthday. It's kind of nice of him. You know what? I will say this. Even though I'm leaning towards Sara as the good guy in all this, she's never bought me shoes. Not once. And I mean that. I'm not going to count it as a strike against her yet. Because I'm a good guy. Forgiving, too. But, Sara, maybe buy me some sneakers. Huh? I don't have too many. What do you think about it? I'll call you brave. I'll do whatever. I can be bought. Cheap. My integrity... Actually, I wouldn't call you brave for that. I will call you wonderful. Because I think one day you will be. You have the stuff. You have the stuff to say, your plaudits mean nothing to me. Huh? Right, Kemi?
Right.
Your plaudits mean nothing to me. Your heaps of praise mean nothing to me. I view them as nothing more than something to keep me weak. My hero's journey has nearly begun. That wasn't the beginning. It starts when I say it does. And I will rise up. And I will rise up and take shape. And I don't care if there's no one there to applaud it. I don't care if the whole world calls me a coward. I don't care. It is immaterial. Consensus has nothing to do whether or not I've reached God within me. The higher God inside me. The greater I am. That's what she would say. She'd say, the thing I call God is a still small voice inside my head. It doesn't make me kill people yet. It makes me grow. That's what she would say. She would say that. By gum. And she would say, stop calling me brave. Stop it. I'm not brave because I survived. This is brave. You're a cunt. You're clueless. You think this is going to help me? You cock-sucking maggots? Huh? Just wanting to get your jollies off because of sensationalism? Because you want to feel something to escape the void of your life? I am Sarah, goddammit! I'm better than that. Sure, I got molested by a psychopath. That happens. It happened. It has nothing to do with me. Did you see me climb Mount Everest? Did you see that? Did you see the dragons I slayed within my own heart? Did you see that? Applaud that now, because that's what counts. My molestation has nothing to do with any of this. It happened. It's over. Now watch me dance. I don't even remember the guy's name that molested me. I forgot it. You should forget it too, because I think something tells me the harder you fight something, the further the pendulum swings back the other way from a non-dualist perspective. I believe that to be true because I am Sara, the lioness. That's what she would say. She's a psycho, I think, myself. But at least she's brave. You know, very brave. Anything else?
Oh, let's see. There was one that said, are you going to let Onision around your kid?
No, but I won't let you around my kid either. That's how much I love my kid. Not you, Seth. I'm talking about the person who asked the question. You see, I think the difference between you, person who asked that question, and Onision is a difference of degree, not kind. I think you, being as interested in this as you are just as sick as he is. Very sick. Very strange. I wouldn't really let any of you around my children. Not yet. Not unless I put you through some tests. Like a thumb war. If you can pin me in a thumb war, my child is all yours. For an hour. Do whatever you want with her, and I can't say a thing. It's a new rule. It's only fair. Onision, of course, has no opposable thumbs. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
He would lose. That's why he's not allowed near my child. Next question.
Oh, let's see. What's your IQ?
9. Next question.
Let's see. Someone wants you to help them get hired at Denny's.
That's no problem. I know the guys. I know them very well. I'm actually the first busman in the history of Denny's. There have been bus boys, but I'm the first busman, and it actually says so on my name tag. It says Joseph Busman. And a lot of that, as everybody knows, my real job is playing a villain on the internet. But for fun, despite the fact that I am independently wealthy, I am a busman at the 42nd Street Denny's in Seattle, Washington. And I do that mainly for pussy. It's the best way to meet women.
Right.
Next question.
Why did you insult Scotty that night on DP?
Oh, Scotty?
Yeah.
That night on DP?
Yeah.
You want to know the truth? The whole truth? Nothing but the truth? I think I can tell it. I think enough time has passed that I can give an honest answer for that question. First, let me take you August 2017. I had never been on the show, never saw the show. My friend William invited me to a place at Corazon to watch him perform live. He said that there would be a group there called the Drunken Peasants, and they would invite him on stage, and he would open for them. I said, oh, are the Drunken Peasants, are they like a comedy troupe or something? He said, no, they run a podcast. I said, okay. So I went down there. That was my second date with young Steve, young precious baby Steve. We went there, and I saw the peasants, because he was pointing them out. TJ was very tall. I'm tall, but this guy was taller. He was like 6'6" and wearing platform shoes. And I said to myself right then, that guy has a small dick. I was never more sure about anything in my life until 5 minutes later, I saw young Scotty cleave to his girlfriend Taylor, his then girlfriend Taylor, now wife. And he cleaved like this. You could see the whites of his finger. He was cleaving. Now granted, it was a very, very gross crew in that El Corazon. The kind of people that watch Drunken Peasants. And people like me were there. You know, greasy, weird, strange, off-putting. So I don't blame him for being a little tense. But the way he cleaved to her did not show protection. It showed fear. That's when I knew he was my man. If I was going to infiltrate and destroy Drunken Peasants, he was going to be the root. And I knew just then what I would do. I would tell Billy, it's okay, I've changed. I'm no longer a fuck-up. I am not self-destructive, nor other-destructive. I'm a good man. All I want is what's good. All I enjoy is what's good. I don't confront people, and I don't cause trouble. He said, okay, and he told young Benjamin about me. Young Benjamin enjoyed my company enough to invite me back the next week. And despite a scuffle or two with young Jeff Holliday, who I am now very close with, thinking of making love to, I was invited back in episode 400 and 403. 403 is when I made my move. 400 was not the right time. That's when I exposed JF as being a racist. Look it up. Nobody knew then. But that's a different story. 403, that was the time. And I had the perfect out. If you remember, the episode before was episode 402, given by young Dick Masterson. And Dick Masterson gave you the trick, the clue, the hint of how to do a good troll. What the key to a good troll is an easy out. You have to supply a plausible deniability. There has to be something that's so glaringly, obviously fake about the outrage and about everything you're doing that you can just poke a hole in it by questioning that one thing. The MacGuffin in my case was 2 jokes that I didn't make in an existing episode before, in 400, that he didn't laugh at. We were together on episode 400. And I used this MacGuffin as the excuse to attack him. He never once questioned the 2 jokes. In fact, it wasn't until much later that Billy was like, what 2 jokes? Which was great, because that ended the bit, but by that time, Scotty was so upset, you know, he had to be killed. And that also killed Drunken Peasants, and I'm very sorry for that. If I'm sorry for one thing, it's not Onision and the Onision interview, or planning the Onision interview to go exactly as it did, as poorly as it did, the way it did. It's that I killed Drunken Peasants without getting credit for it. That's what I'm sad about. That's what I'm really sad about. Anything else?
Oh. Nothing much.
Good. So, with that, I'm going to eat my dinner now. Thank you very much for accepting my apology. I'll be back later. Goodbye.